5-7.
All right, we are back on the record. The court granted a temporary guardianship last time we were hearing this matter. And at this time, we're looking at whether or not it's appropriate to grant a full guardianship. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Good afternoon, Jessica Kelly on behalf of Petitioner, Jacob Willie, who's with us today on Zoom. I'm hoping he'll introduce himself and tell us whether he has anyone with him on his Zoom.
I'm Jacob Willie. I'm Gregory's father, and he will be off the bus in about 10 minutes.
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian ad litem.
Okay, we have a Rochelle Manor logged in. Would you tell us what brings you in?
Yes, I'm Rochelle Manor. I'm a psychologist who conducted testing with Gregory last year.
Thank you. And we have a Nadia Sensor. Could you let us know what brings you into the courtroom today? Is that familiar to anyone else in the meeting, that person?
Hi, I am here for my daughter. I must be logged in too early.
Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll just pop you back into the waiting room and we'll be with you in a few minutes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Kelly, proceed at will.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. As the court noted, Jacob has been serving as Gregory's temporary guardian for a few weeks, and as such has made some progress getting Gregory connected with services and some placement options. But the need for a full guardianship has not gone away. So we do have folks ready to testify today as to the petition and to the reports we've provided, and we are hoping that the court will grant the petition for appointment of the full guardian today.
Thank you. Any comments by way of opening, Mr. McFarland?
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Kelly, your first witness.
Thank you. I'd like to call Dr. Manor.
Dr. Manor, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly.
Thank you. Would you please say and spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's Rochelle Manor, M-A-N-O-R, a PhD. I'm a licensed psychologist in the state of Michigan.
Very good. Thank you. And what is your relationship to Gregory Willie?
I evaluated Gregory in August of 2023. He came to Brains through our approved autism evaluation center, specialty program we have with Blue Cross Insurance.
And as a result of that evaluation, you completed a multidisciplinary evaluation report last August, right?
Correct.
Very good. And so, according to your evaluation, what is Gregory's diagnosis?
So we diagnosed Gregory with autism, a level 3, which is the most significant of the impairment levels. We also noted very significant language difficulties, both receptive and expressive, as well as intellectual disability.
Thank you. And so would you describe Gregory's condition as severe or chronic?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He is essentially nonverbal, could answer a few questions, but very significantly impaired in both communication as well as just basic daily living skills.
Thank you. How would you describe his ability to care for himself, speaking of daily living skills?
Well, what we observed in the office here is that Gregory has a very difficult time even being able to respond non-verbally. That idea of kind of performing on command, it needs a great deal of assistance, support. His father and obviously the providers here were working with him very diligently, even just to help him navigate through the environment. His father completed questionnaires regarding just basic daily living skills, and he does need a great deal of support in just basic hygiene, management, and certainly not able to manage finances or decision making for his own safety.
Thank you. How would you describe his ability to learn?
Fairly impaired, obviously with the limited communication skills that are there. Obviously he can learn, and that's why we recommended a very intensive behavioral intervention plan for him. But his ability to learn is going to be much less than would be expected for his age, clearly.
Thank you. And would you describe, or would you say that Gregory has any struggles with mobility?
We reviewed a lot of what we call toe walking. Just his gait and navigating through the building does put him at more of a fall risk because of that.
I see. Thank you. You described his capacity for independent living. You've described his capacity for maybe limited to no economic self-sufficiency. Is there anything else that you think would be helpful for the court to know in making its decision today?
Well, especially in regard to medical decision making, for him to even understand the concepts of the testing that we were going through and the diagnoses that we were coming up with, his cognitive ability to even understand his own limitations and needs was very limited. And so having someone to advocate on his behalf, he's very vulnerable to being taken advantage of. And so I would see a long-term need for someone to manage his financial decision-making, medical decision-making, and daily living.
Thank you. And would you expect a person with Gregory's diagnosis to outgrow the impairments?
No, this is developmental.
Okay, thank you. The report that accompanied Jacob's petition that you prepared indicated that a full guardianship was needed. Is that still true today?
That's my opinion, yes.
Thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to offer to the court?
I don't believe so.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, I rest with Dr. Manner.
Mr. McFarland?
No questions, Your Honor.
Very well. Ms. Kelly, did you wish for Dr. Manner's testimony to be viewed by the court in her capacity as a professional or simply as a lay witness?
Oh, thank you. Yes, as a professional, Dr. Manner is the professional who prepared our report that accompanied the petition. We covered a little bit right in the beginning of Dr. Manner's professional degrees. And I apologize if there's something else that the court needs for the record. I'm happy to cover that as well.
Well, simply a motion to confirm that you'd like me to view her as an expert would be, I think, what we would need according to the court rules.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor. We would move for the court to see Dr. Manner as a professional in this capacity.
No objection.
Thank you. I do see, Dr. Maynard, that you have your PhD and are considered a licensed psychologist. Would you agree that that would be your area of expertise?
Yes.
Very well. Thank you. So that is how the court will view her testimony within that particular capacity. Any other witnesses? Ms. Kelly?
I'd like to call Jacob Willie again. And if it pleases the court, we can release Dr. Manner. I know her time is precious.
Any objection, Mr. McFarland?
No objection.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time and your testimony, Dr. May.
Great. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Deputy Ames is back. Would you like to swear in Mr. Jacob Willie?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Willie, can you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Ms. Kelly.
Thank you. Jacob, you covered a little bit of information about your name and address and your relationship to Gregory when we were here for the temporary guardianship. Has any of that changed?
No.
Okay. Did you hear Dr. Manner's assessment of Gregory's abilities?
I did.
And would you describe them in the same way that she did?
Yes, I would.
Thank you. Since you were appointed as temporary guardian a few weeks ago, what progress have you made connecting Gregory to services or finding suitable placement?
He was immediately, we had to have his intake so that they could determine that they would be able to offer him services. He was able to meet with and begin services with a psychiatrist, which is phenomenal because there was a huge issue with going from being a minor to an adult, and then a psychiatrist was in Toledo, which Medicaid wouldn't cover. We were worried that we wanted to have him continuation of care, so that was a huge deal that he now has a psychiatrist that he can see in the years coming. We have an appointment on the 9th to begin looking at respite, ABA, and residential placement.
Very good. Has Gregory created any type of power of attorney in the past, naming someone to assist him?
No.
And is it true that you signed a petition for appointment of guardian on May 28th asking for appointment as a full guardian?
Yes.
Were all of the statements in your petition true when you signed them?
They were.
And are they still true today?
They are.
Have you been convicted of abusing or neglecting children or adults?
No.
Have you ever been convicted of fraud or financial crimes?
No.
Do you understand the duties of a full guardian?
I do.
And you are asking the court then to appoint you as Gregory's full guardian, correct?
I am.
Does that include the request for authority to make living arrangements for Gregory?
Yes.
And does it include arrangements to meet all of his other needs?
Yes.
Very good. That's all I have for you today, Mr. Willie.
Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Sir, in our interview, I believe you told me that you had a case of substantiated neglect of a minor and that of your son when he was younger, correct?
Correct.
Can you explain to the court about that?
Sure. I don't believe it was a conviction. I'm not sure what the
I didn't say conviction. I said substantiated case of
Okay.
neglect.
I'm sorry. Yes, Gregory was continually at age 4 when he lived with his mother and I. He was continually eloping from the home. CPS was involved multiple times. Initially, while I was in Iraq, while he was living with his mother, but even when I returned during our divorce, I think the 4th case, he was with me, and they removed him from my home and placed him with the mother. And then following that, I went through the steps they gave, parenting counseling, and so on and so forth. I would note that at the time, doctors were telling us he was not autistic and that there was nothing wrong with him. But that's pretty much the entire deal.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, any redirect, Ms. Kelly?
I would only ask Mr. Willie to confirm that no agency has expressed any concerns given that history with current placement of Gregory or Mr. Willie's current involvement. Is that correct?
That is correct. As a matter of fact, we checked with their office personally, and they were the ones asking me to bring him in.
Very good. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other witnesses?
I don't believe so. Jacob, is that someone we need on the couch there behind you?
No, that's Gregory's sister. My mom's saying that she's joining, but she's saying she's still stuck in the lobby, apparently.
Thank you, Your Honor. That would be Tamara Willie. This is the woman that we're seeking to have appointed as a standby guardian, and I would have a few questions for her.
All right, I have allowed her into the meeting. She's in under Tamara Ridgeway Vistas. Can you hear us okay, ma'am?
Yes, can.
There we go.
All right, what is your name again, please?
Tamara Willie.
Okay, Deputy Angel, please swear her.
Please raise your right hand. Ms. Lilly, is your right hand raised? Thank
Yes.
you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Would you please say and spell your name for the record?
Tamara, Tamara, Willie, Willey.
And what is your address?
205 Raphael Road, Madison, Alabama, 35757.
Thank you. How are you related to Gregory Willie?
I am his grandmother.
Thank you. And are you aware that we've asked the court to appoint you as a standby guardian if Gregory were unable to serve? I'm sorry, if Jacob were unable to serve as Gregory's guardian in the future?
Yes.
Have you ever been convicted of abusing a child or an adult?
No.
Have you ever been convicted of fraud or other financial crimes?
No.
Do you understand the duties of a standby guardian?
Yes.
And are you willing to be Gregory's guardian if Jacob became unable to serve?
Yes.
Very good. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Ma'am, this is the guardian ad litem, Mr. McFarland. Have you ever been investigated by Adult Protective Services or Child Protective Services?
Oh,
That's for you. That question's for you, Ms. Wood.
okay. No, I have never been.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any other witnesses, Ms. Kelly?
No, thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
No witnesses, no further questions.
Very good. Does it concern you that we haven't yet seen Gregory Willie yet this afternoon?
Your Honor, I have done a FaceTime, so I can confirm that he is non-vocal.
Very well. would you like to share any of your recommendations this afternoon?
Your Honor, I believe everything that I have investigated came out in the question and answering. This is a young man who does need help, who was abandoned by his mother. His father has stepped forward, and he has the credentials, he's lining things up. I think by the temporary guardianship, he's showed us that he's more than suitable for the full guardianship, and I have no objections.
Thank you. Well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's request for the appointment of a full guardian for Gregory Willie. I've heard the testimony of Dr. Maynor, who did the analysis, and although it was done approximately a year ago, she did outline very effectively the challenges that Gregory faces. She testified consistently with her report that those are challenges that had an onset before the age of 18 and were considered developmental, making the request for developmental guardianship appropriate in this case. She articulated far better than I can all of the things that impact Gregory's ability to adhere to his own needs and to accomplish his activities of daily living. It's very clear to this court that Gregory is in need of a full guardian as a result of his developmental delays, as well as that diagnosis of autism and all of the things that represents for him and his family that were outlined by Jacob Willie, as well as Dr. Maynor. So I do find that all presents clear and convincing evidence for purposes of the court's findings, and the order does reflect that. It also reflects that Gregory is in need of, and it is appropriate to grant a total guardianship or a full or plenary, as it is referred to. He was not really able to express a preference to the guardian ad litem or to the court. The guardian ad litem has, of course, satisfied his obligations and also supports the request for full guardianship. The order of the court reflects that the petition is granted. Jacob Willie is appointed the plenary guardian of his son. He has filed an acceptance, as well as Ms. Tamara Willie has also signed an acceptance indicating formally that they understand their obligations as guardians for Gregory. They've also authorized the guardian for purposes for entering Gregory into a specialized care home or facility in the event that that becomes necessary. But for now, I do find and appreciate that his father is able to allow for him to be within the home itself. So I've granted the order and I've signed the letters of authority. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
I have nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you.